multifamily friends. Unfortunately, budget season is upon us. I know it's such a fun time of year, but sitting down to write a budget can be really stressful, I know, especially when we are consistently asked to do more with less. And when so much emphasis is placed on reducing your cost per lease or your cost per lead, it can be really difficult to know where to start in making reductions in those budgets. This is my 20th year in the multifamily industry, so it's my 20th budget season, and I can absolutely relate to the feelings of stress and dread that come along with starting to write those new budgets. But I'm here today to introduce you to a new budget mini-series from 30 Lines, where we are going to give you immediate actions you can take to help reduce your spend, be smarter about the way you're positioning your communities in the marketplace, and be the budget hero for your bosses. Ready to get started? We are too. Let's take a peek at the behavior-based approach to apartment marketing that we follow here at 30 Lines. We refer to this as look, learn, lease, love. And this is a framework that defines each step of the customer's journey from the start, when they begin their apartment search, all the way through to finish when they start building their tenure as a resident. When we really take the time to review each phrase and what the customer is trying to accomplish at each interval, we can then start to audit our marketing strategies and tools to be sure we've covered every base, every step of the way. Let's dive into a quick strategy point to get you going. Today, we're going to focus on the look phase of the customer journey. This is when your customer is just beginning their apartment search. They probably don't even know your community by name and are completing very broad searches online, such as apartments in Atlanta or apartments in Midtown Atlanta. The goal during this phase of the customer search is to be found. You want your community to be put on the customer's radar. They may not be ready to call or tour yet, but you want your community name to be seen and discovered. With that being said, let's talk through 30 Lines budget tip number 1, which relates to PPC or pay-per-click advertising. Most of you are probably already taking advantage of the Google AdWords platform. Traditionally, pay-per-click ad budgets have been set at the same or similar amounts month to month to align with the annual property budget. For example, if your total PPC spend is projected to be $15,600 in 2019, that amount would be distributed equally year-round at $1,300 per month. But why not flex those marketing dollars so you can get the most bang for your buck? At 30 Lines, we recommend applying a PPC budget that fluctuates monthly based on occupancy, retention, or turnover rates, and leasing seasonality. Instead of spending the same amount every month, you should be spending more during peak periods when prospects are most likely to be looking for an apartment, and spending less in the off-season when you historically have fewer apartments to rent. It really doesn't make sense to be putting $1,300 towards your PPC campaigns in July when you have 25 apartments to fill, and yet another $1,300 again in December when you only have 7 apartments to fill. See how a budget like that doesn't really align with your very own leasing goals? But this is the general rule of thumb you should be following. When you follow this model, you will most likely be able to reduce your overall spend on PPC year over year. Even when you bump your budget way up during those busy leasing months, you will recognize the savings over the course of your 12-month budget cycle. Pretty cool, huh? When it's time to actually sit down and build your property's budget for the year, how do you start planning for a PPC strategy based on leasing seasonality? You can use some simple marketing math to back into what your ideal monthly PPC ad budgets should be. You'll want to look at several factors. 1. Consider the property's historical leasing cycle. Consider which months you experience the highest volumes of traffic and rentals, and which months are traditionally the least busy. 2. Think about the percentage of leads or leases that you want to come from PPC advertising. You most likely have more traffic sources than just PPC, so remember that not all of your needed leases need to come from this one source. You'll want to determine which percentage of your leases you want to derive from your pay-per-click campaigns, and then use that number as you back into your budget. 3, also factor in the property's current online conversion rates, such as impressions, cost per click, and website conversions. So for example, think about the number of website visitors you currently receive and how many of those visitors fill out an online guest card so that their information gets to your leasing team. 4, think about your leasing team's average tour to rental closing ratio. And lastly, consider your average or forecasted retention or turnover rate for each month of the new year. We know we're flipping your ad budget upside down, and it can be a challenge to find the time and resources to crunch these numbers on your own. So we're here to help make your favorite season a little easier. Reach out via the link provided, and our marketing mathematicians will do the work for you. We can calculate your personalized property ad budget for 2019 and drop the results right to your inbox. Compare our calculations to your budgeted numbers and see if they won't help you do more with your marketing dollars while spending less. We're pretty sure you'll be the budget hero your boss has been looking for. Thanks so much for joining us today. We certainly hope you'll join us for future episodes of our Flip Your Budget mini-series aimed at helping you survive and thrive in this busy budget season. And as always, Team 30 Lines is here to help make you a smarter apartment marketer.